It seems like every day this week we have had a new Pete Hegseth story that, of course, is threatening his nomination to be Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense. One of the latest reports, of course, comes from 10 current and former Fox News employees who, based on their experiences with him, what they had to say, is that he apparently has a massive drinking problem, to the point where several of these employees said that on more than a dozen occasions, they could smell alcohol on his breath when he was doing his Fox and Friends weekend show. Now, the Fox and Friends weekend show, in case you're not familiar with this, I think it starts at 5 a.m. So that would mean that either Pete Hegseth began drinking prior to the program, or he had been out all night drinking and came in still drunk. Again, this is according to these employees. We cannot obviously confirm whether or not this did or did not happen. We can only go on the reports from these individuals. But here's what they had to say. On more than a dozen occasions during Hegseth's time as co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, which began in 2017, they smelled alcohol on him before he went on air. 3 current employees said that his drinking remained a concern up until Trump announced him as his choice to run the Pentagon, at which point Hegseth left Fox. Colleagues said that they felt they had to babysit Hegseth because he would be out drinking the nights before his weekend show. We'd have to call him to make sure he didn't oversleep because we knew he'd be out partying the night before. Now, if you're not getting behind the wheel, if you're not doing anything horrific, harassing people, if you're just out drinking, you can do that, okay? Coming into work still with alcohol on your breath, that's a big no-no. I don't care where you work. They're probably not going to look too fondly on that. But I do kind of have to raise a counterpoint here to this report. Right? Pete Hegseth, at the time, how was he that valuable to Fox News? Right? You really could have replaced him with anybody. So I do have a little bit, I guess you would say, skepticism about this report. I'm not defending Hegseth at all, but do think about it this way, folks. If this were a real concern, and if this were basically an open secret at Fox News, that, hey, Hegseth comes in, you can smell the alcohol on him as he's walking through the hallways, why didn't they just fire him? Okay, he's a weekend host. He's a very replaceable guy, is my point. So if there were any kind of issues with him, like, oh, we don't even know if he's going to show up because he was out drinking all night, then why didn't you fire him? That's the part to me that doesn't make sense. If these reports are true, Hegseth was not a big name at the network. Okay, he's not one of your primetime anchors. It's not like Jesse Waters was doing this or Sean Hannity. It's the weekend guy you make come into work at 3 a.m. Get rid of his ass. So, to me, I don't know. I mean, with all of the other reports about Hegseth and his behavior, that alone is disqualifying. The drinking thing, I'm viewing that a little bit more skeptically, right? I don't know, because that doesn't make sense to me. A very replaceable guy coming in drunk and you don't get rid of him, that's a little iffy to me. But nevertheless, Hegseth is, of course, facing a ton of other problems that, as I just said, are immediately disqualifying. But Hegseth says he ain't backing down. In a post on social media, he said, "I'm doing this for the war fighters, not the warmongers. The left is afraid of disruptors and change agents. They are afraid of Donald Trump and me. So they smear with fake anonymous sources and BS stories. They don't want the truth. Our warriors never back down, and neither will I." He then mentioned, "I spoke to the president-elect this morning. He said, keep going, keep fighting. Why would I back down? I've always been a fighter." Yeah, but your nomination is pretty much already in the toilet. It ain't gonna happen. So you could bow out now with a little bit of dignity, maybe try to save what's left of whatever career you may have after this, or you can go down in flames during your confirmation hearing, because even Republicans at this point are saying it ain't gonna happen. So the choice is yours, Petey. Go ahead and drop out now and save face, or be even more publicly humiliated during those confirmation hearings. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.